wasn't the best because I kill quickly. I was the best because...
And shown repeatedly at the trial.
Some movie sets turned into real-life tragedies when actors died before the camera stopped rolling. From Oliver Reed collapsing during Gladiator, to Bruce Lee's sudden death while filming Game of Death, and Vic Morrow's fatal helicopter accident on Twilight Zone. These moments shocked Hollywood. Here are the most unforgettable actors who tragically died while filming a movie, beginning with Vic Morrow. Vic Morrow was a veteran American actor who tragically died while filming Twilight Zone, the movie in 1982. During a night shoot for a Vietnam War scene, Morrow was carrying two child actors across a shallow river when a helicopter flying low overhead lost control. The aircraft crashed suddenly, and its spinning blades decapitated Morrow and one of the children instantly. The third victim was crushed by the wreckage. The scene involved explosions and special effects that were too close to the chopper, leading to the fatal accident. Morrow's death sparked outrage and led to a highly publicized trial and major changes in how stunts and safety protocols are handled on film sets. The next person on the list is Brandon Lee.
Because we do not know when we will die, we get to think of life as an inexhaustible well.
Brandon Lee, son of martial arts legend Bruce Lee, was an actor on the rise. He died tragically in 1993 while filming the movie The Crow. During a scene where his character is shot, a prop gun that was supposed to be safe accidentally fired a real fragment from a dummy round that had been left in the barrel. The bullet hit Brandon in the abdomen. He was rushed to the hospital and underwent hours of surgery, but didn't survive.
Little things used to mean so much to Shelley. I used to think they were kind of trivial.
He died at just 28 years old. The accident shocked the industry and exposed serious safety failures on set. The Crow was nearly scrapped, but was later completed using body doubles and CGI. Moving forward, we have Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I do. I very rarely stop and remember.
Heath Ledger, an Oscar-winning actor known for his intense performances, died in the middle of filming The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus in 2008. He was found dead in his New York apartment from an accidental overdose of prescription medications. Though his work on The Dark Knight was already complete, he hadn't finished shooting The Imaginarium. His sudden death left the production in crisis. Rather than cancel the film, the director rewrote the script so that Ledger's character would change appearances throughout the story. Johnny Depp, Jude Law, and Colin Farrell stepped in to play alternate versions of the same character, all donating their pay to Heath's daughter. In the same tragic light, the next person is Paul Walker. Paul Walker, best known for his role in the Fast and Furious franchise, died in 2013 while Furious 7 was still being filmed. During a break from shooting, Paul was a passenger in a Porsche Carrera GT driven by his friend. The car lost control, hit a tree, and exploded in flames.
Investigators working right now to determine the cause of the wreck. ABC's Cecilia Vega has the story.
Both men died at the scene. Paul's death sent shockwaves through Hollywood and devastated fans worldwide. At the time, nearly half of his scenes for Furious 7 were unfinished. Production was paused, and the studio used his brothers as body doubles and digital effects to complete the film. The movie's emotional ending served as a tribute to Paul, and it became one of the most memorable send-offs in film history. Meanwhile, the next person worth mentioning is James Dean. James Dean was a Hollywood icon who died in 1955 before finishing his third film, Giant. He was just 24 years old when he crashed his Porsche 550 Spyder on the way to a car race in California. At the time, filming for Giant was nearly complete, but he had not yet finished recording his dialogue. After his death, a voice actor was brought in to dub the remaining lines. Dean's sudden passing stunned the world and turned him into a legend. Though he only completed 3 films, his impact on Hollywood was massive. Following that heartbreaking story, the next person is Oliver Reed. Oliver Reed, a British actor who died in 1999 while filming Gladiator. During a break from shooting in Malta, Reed suffered a fatal heart attack after spending the evening at a bar. Reports say he had been drinking heavily and collapsed shortly afterward. At the time of his death, he had completed most of his scenes as Proximo, a key supporting character. Rather than recast his role, the filmmakers used a body double and CGI to finish his remaining scenes.
I wasn't the best because I killed quickly. I was the best because the crowd loved me.
His sudden passing added a somber note to the production, but Gladiator went on to become a massive box office success and won the Academy Award for Best Picture. The next person is Philip Seymour Hoffman.
And that you have to be working with people who you trust and who you can take risks with.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, an Oscar-winning actor known for his powerful roles, died in 2014 while filming The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2. He was found dead in his New York apartment from a heroin overdose before completing his final scenes as Plutarch Heavensbee. At the time, most of his work for the film was already done, but one key emotional scene remained unfinished. Instead of using CGI, the filmmakers rewrote the scene and gave his dialogue to other characters. Despite the changes, the film was completed and released successfully. Up next, River Phoenix.
The next film I'm working on will most definitely contrast what I've already done. It's called Love You to Death.
River Phoenix, a rising star and teen idol of the late 80s and early 90s who died in 1993 while filming the movie Dark Blood. He collapsed outside the Viper Room nightclub in Los Angeles after taking a lethal combination of heroin and cocaine.
And that day he sat maybe for an hour without moving from the chair. He had been taking drugs the night before.
You know, half an hour ago, he was, you know, seemingly no problem. And then boom.
He was only 23 years old. At the time of his death, Dark Blood was near completion, with just a few scenes left to shoot. His passing forced production to shut down immediately. The film was shelved for nearly 2 decades and remained unfinished until it was later completed, using narration and existing footage. Moving along, the next person on this list is John Candy.
I just need a chance. It ain't about the money, I'll leave that to you.
John Candy, one of the most beloved comedians of the 80s and early 90s. But sadly, his life was cut short in 1994, at just 43 years old, while filming the Western comedy Wagons East in Durango, Mexico. Candy died of a heart attack in his sleep after finishing a day of filming. Though most of his scenes for the movie had already been filmed, a few key parts were still left unfinished. Instead of using CGI or a body double, the filmmakers chose to work around the missing footage by editing the existing material creatively.
Doing right. Let's have one for the 7th Cavalry!
Wagons East was released later that same year, but it didn't perform well with critics or at the box office. Still, for many fans, it marked the bittersweet end of an unforgettable career. With that said, the next actor on the list who died while filming a movie is Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, whose name alone changed martial arts cinema forever, but tragically, he never got to finish one of his most anticipated projects, Game of Death. In 1973, while working on the film, Bruce suddenly collapsed. He later died from a cerebral edema, believed to be triggered by a reaction to a painkiller. He was just 32. At the time, only a portion of Game of Death had been shot. After his death, the project was put on hold, and years later it was pieced together using body doubles, stock footage, and even cardboard cutouts of his face in some scenes. The final version, released in 1978, includes less than 15 minutes of real Bruce Lee footage. Still, the film became a cult classic, carried almost entirely by his legacy and name. Coming up next, we have Tyrone Power. Tyrone Power was a 1940s Hollywood heartthrob who died suddenly while filming a movie in 1958. He was in Madrid shooting Solomon and Sheba, an epic biblical film where he played the role of Solomon.
Tonight, you tried to kill more than your brother. You raised your hand against your king.
During a challenging sword fight scene with actor George Sanders, Power began to experience chest pains but pushed through to complete the take. Moments later, he collapsed on set from a massive heart attack. Despite immediate medical attention, he was pronounced dead shortly after, at just 44 years old. He was at the peak of his career and still highly in demand. At the time of his passing, about 75% of the movie had already been shot. The studio decided to recast his role with actor Yul Brynner, who stepped in and reshot all of Power's scenes. The finished film was released in 1959. Following this heartbreaking loss, let's move on to another tragic story. This time, it's the well-known British actor Roy Kinnear.
Well, you should get a first aid if you're feeling unwell. If I catch you down here again, out of break out.
Roy Kinnear was a British character actor who tragically died in 1988 while filming The Return of the Musketeers in Spain. During a horseback scene on set in Toledo, Kinnear fell off the horse and suffered a broken pelvis. He was rushed to the hospital but died the next day from a heart attack caused by internal bleeding. The production had to be delayed, and the incident led to serious criticism of the safety measures on set. His death had a deep impact on the industry, with the film's director, Richard Lester, later stating that the tragedy made him walk away from directing entirely.
Yes, I am. What I mean, I'm Hungarian by birth. I'm an American now.
Bela Lugosi was a legendary Hungarian-American actor, best known for playing Count Dracula. In 1956, Lugosi died while filming Plan 9 from Outer Space, a low-budget science fiction movie directed by Ed Wood. At the time of his death, only a few scenes had been completed, mainly silent, outdoor footage of him walking with a cape. Lugosi passed away from a heart attack at his home before he could film any major dialogue or scenes. Rather than replace him with another actor, Ed Wood decided to finish the movie using a stand-in of his own wife's chiropractor, who was noticeably taller and kept his face covered by the cape throughout the rest of the film. The use of a body double and the poor editing made Plan 9 infamous, often cited as one of the worst films ever made, but Lugosi's involvement kept it in the spotlight. And finally, the last person on this tragic list is Jon-Erik Hexum. Jon-Erik Hexum was a rising American actor and model known for his roles in TV shows like Voyagers and Cover Up.
You're not thinking of disobeying Henry and going after the killer, are you?
Whatever gave you that idea?
In 1984, while filming the television series Cover Up, Hexum died in one of the most shocking on-set accidents in Hollywood history. During a break between scenes, he became impatient, waiting for filming to resume. To kill time, he picked up a prop. .44 Magnum loaded with blanks and jokingly placed it against his temple, then pulled the trigger. Although blanks don't fire bullets, the force of the blank cartridge's explosion at close range was strong enough to fracture his skull and push bone fragments into his brain. He was rushed to the hospital but never regained consciousness.